What about role models? Do you think it's important to have role models as you progress in the field, in the industry, people who you look up to yourself, and specifically female role models? Did you have someone out there?
I just want to add, I think having this platform here today, and I understand it's going to be an annual event, so I hope it does become an annual event, because I think it's a great opportunity for us to showcase women leaders in sustainability, and I think we need to do more of that. We need to celebrate the successes of women in sustainability, and really, the only way to drive other success stories is to make those success stories known. And to let other women know that that they can achieve what they want to achieve. And obviously, Her Excellency Lynn Hashim earlier mentioned that women are an integral part of sustainability because, it starts off at the household, the management household. The simple things such as switching off the lights or, just being more efficient in their cooking meals. And obviously, they're the school for the next generation. So it's very important that we shed the light on success stories, and then building on that, the role models as well. And I think, there doesn't necessarily have to be one role model in each one of our lives, because I think there's something that you can learn from every leader. And I think as women, we need to learn more from these women leaders, because sometimes it's about different styles of leadership, and sometimes it's just insights into, what does it mean? How does a woman leader need to be? Maybe many women ask themselves this question. And maybe you think, well, there's a specific mold that a woman leader needs to do. And maybe that's not true. There's different types of women leaders with different characteristics and different strengths and different weaknesses. And the more role models we see, the more we feel comfortable with ourselves and being women leaders.
Role models, the rest of you clearly all are now, whether you want to be or not, role models yourself. There must be people in your organizations who look to you and say, I wouldn't mind getting to where she's got to. I like the way she does business. I like the things she's trying to achieve. I mean, do you feel a responsibility in that sense?
Well, I don't think I like the expression role model myself, but I may have been pointed, as you say, as one, because I totally agree with you. At my age, there were very few women involved in the business community, and even less in the energy sector. But a woman that succeeded in music and arts, we have to pick what we like. We have to set ourselves a target, to have the ambition, and it's not necessarily to be in our own business and within our own environment. That being said, achieving what some of us have achieved is a demanding task. And it's not sufficient to say, I refer to her or him as a model, because it is so demanding that it's not sufficient to replicate what you see. You first have and foremost have to develop the ambition, to be disciplined, work hard, be focused, set your priorities when you have your family, because you won't be able to do everything at the same time. Develop your communication skills, and this is on a continuous basis, ever evolving. Build your network, and having one role model won't do that for you. So I think it's a much broader approach. But I do agree that identifying those who have succeeded in their field could be an example of how we can achieve.
So you're saying that really you need to be your own person?
I really believe so.
Lots and lots coming from that.
I think it's the thing that you have to believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, then you can learn from others. Not to be, to think of replicating somebody else, but believe in yourself and learn from from the other experience and be yourself. Be yourself, but have your vision, and in addition to with the experience of other people, how they achieve and they manage to succeed with their life.
How do young women and girls as well at school, how do they get to believe in themselves? Is it something that you're born with, or is it something that you can learn or be taught by teachers, parents, experiences, or whatever?
I think it's from the families, and they will put you in an environment that around you, you are a child, like you said, you were you thought of the norm. So it's the environment, the family, the teacher, and how they create that confidence in your personality.
Where are you on the issue of, call it affirmative action, positive discrimination? I understand that in Norway there's a law that 40% of directors on the boards of companies have to be female, of public companies. Now, maybe private companies too, I'm not sure. There have been some people who say that that is just a question of quota filling, and that actually it hasn't made a difference to women who are further down the line. Others say it's a very vital part of getting to a position of gender equality. I'd like to know from all of you, actually, whether you think there should be an extra helping hand for women to break through, not just break through a glass ceiling, but to start off, perhaps. And where, if there is going to be that kind of help, at what stage should it come? Put you on the spot, Michelle.
So I think all of our children need a helping hand, whether they're girls or boys. I don't think we shouldn't discriminate against boys in that. Every country will choose its own path to helping ensure gender equality. I think the metrics that speak most loudly to me, though, around corporate board engagement is that companies have been shown to do better when they have women on their boards of directors. So I would say the metrics speak for themselves.
So if I was a shareholder in a company, I should push for women to be more represented because I'll make more money.
I mean, if you're looking at your customer base includes women, and you're looking globally at women, then you want to be representative in your company with your customer base. So if your customers include women, then of course, I mean, to me it makes sense that you should be including women in your boards.
Okay, so good to have women on the boards, but should it be mandated? As in Norway?
As I say, I think each country makes its own determination about their particular pathway that works in their environment. Personally, I would say that I think the metrics and the values of the company should speak for itself. So I certainly push it. I work with 2,000 entrepreneurs. I work with a network of businesses. And quietly, behind the scenes, I certainly talk to the CEOs of businesses I work with that don't have women on their boards, particularly the ones that have part of benefiting women as part of their mission and part of their marketing. And if they don't have a woman on their board, I say it may work for you today, but certainly I would encourage people to invest in your company tomorrow because it shows that you're not very bored with it.
Right. Fatima, what do you think?
It depends on the society. So my opinion is that we should have equal opportunity, men or women, for anything. It's the skills that changes. But of course, it depends on the society. In some society, feel that the women themselves create for themselves challenge that, okay, we cannot do it or we will not have the opportunity. So in this case, the government will come and give quota for something, or the board will come and give quota to encourage them to start. But this is not something that is going to continue. Skills, this is not that will give the opportunity for
So people get the skills, then they can compete for themselves. So
they have
if they have assistants to to get the skills in the first place, then they can compete.
Yes, yeah, but what I mean is that if there is quota, it just got to change how our society is thinking of this kind of job, of this kind of business, but it should not be that it's almost a quota for the lifetime. It's just maybe a start-up to have the woman in this sector, but finally it should be equal opportunity for opportunity.
Okay, Diane.
Well, I think, you mentioned earlier that businesses who have a diverse board do better in terms of revenue and sales. So if it makes business sense, then why should I be interested? So there will obviously be companies that are more forward-thinking, more progressive, and more open to try out having women on board. And according to research, these companies would then be performing better, and these other companies would then be saying, well, they're doing better, and because maybe it's due to having more women in their leadership, then we should be doing that. So I think it's more of encouragement on the government side, encouraging corporations and government departments to have more women on the board, but I'm not sure if forcing women on the board is the way forward. I think if it makes sense, that we do it anyway.
What about positions lower down the food chain? Do you think that, say in the field of sustainability, that certain jobs should be reserved for women, or say, that only women will be considered for this post?
Again, it's the same answer. I don't think that there should be specific roles. I think the opportunity should be open to the best candidate. And if we don't have enough women candidates, then maybe we should invest more in training these women and make them capable of taking these positions. So I think there's a different approach as opposed to forcing people to answer.
Well, I must say I have a slightly different view on this. You're raising the question of quotas on boards. You're citing Norway. France has a 50% quota by the end of 2016. UK, if I'm correct, is a 30% before 2017. So they're moving in that direction. If we look at the States, if we look at Canada, where there are no quotas, but more of an expectation that women would be appointed. 17% of women sit on boards in the state. We do slightly better in Canada, 20%. In the energy sector, 10% women. So although
below the average.
Below the average. So although I don't like the idea of quota, because it's offensive to a certain extent to say that you'll have to appoint women, otherwise you will be taken as lacking social responsibility or whatever you have to justify. Although I don't like the idea of quota, I must admit that it does make a difference on boards. Now, we're talking about referring to the C-suite level also. Here in the Gulf states, it's 1% women on at the C-suite level. Again, I don't think at the executive level we should have quotas, but putting in place, as you just said, training program, affirmative policy action, so that we make sure that when you open a position, make sure that there are women, you outreach to women, and then be the best in the job. I'm not suggesting that someone not qualified should be appointed, but we have to be much more pushed than we are now.
And also further down the company as well?
Yes.
Quotas, or, for example, the Labour Party in Britain, in some, because they want to get more women members of Parliament, have all women shortlists for some seats. Men aren't allowed to apply. In a company, do you think that would work?
I would not feel